So when it comes to when it comes to working leads in the system, there, I kind of like working from the system top down. Okay. And so like this is how to manage conversations, and I shared the pipeline for you. So when I say top down, this is what I mean. I mean, here's your dashboard, right? Which if you have tasks that are due because you've set tasks up to do some type of follow-up, or there's anybody that you're working, this is where I start, is like with my tasks, right? Now, the you know, outside of that, then I work from the top down over here on the side of my dashboard. Does everybody kind of see this? So I start with my dashboard. If there's any tasks or outstanding stuff, and I also like to look at my numbers. I like to look at this. I like to look at this overview report here, but I really like to look at my lead source report. So if I'm looking at, if I'm looking at my leads, that are coming in, I can kind of keep a track on, how things are flowing, right? Now, the next thing that I do in the process is I move down to conversations. And conversations, right, is where all of the responses to your campaigns, all of your leads, all of your contacts in your opportunity pipeline who are inside of here, who have responded to your campaigns, your automated sequences that are firing off, they're all in here, right? And then your ongoing communication with them through the system is inside of here. So I love working, my goal is I log into the system and I check this 3 times a day. Now, obviously you can do it more or less or whatever, but my goal is to clear out this inbox. So, if I have somebody who's, even when somebody's like, said thank you, right? Like I'm trying to clear them out. Now, if I don't need to respond, I can not respond, but if somebody gives me a little thank you, I'm always gonna be the last person to respond. First of all, I love this little emoji feature built into this. How cool is that, right? But I'll shoot them a little thumbs up, and boom, I send them out, and now they're gone, right? Now they're gone. Alon, right? This is Alon. I was actually just on, I was just on a call with Alon before we jumped on here. Anyway, so Alan's wanting a deliverable from Michael from a meeting that they did. So I'm going to leave that open. I'm not going to mess with that. But Ray, I gave him a thumbs up. He gave me a thumbs up. I'm going to go ahead and clear Ray out of the system. So I'm not leaving an open loop here. I'm just going to go ahead and mark him as red, and then boom, he's out of my inbox, right? So I'm clearing my inbox here. I'm clearing my communication. And the cool thing about this is, if this is, this doesn't matter if they texted, if they'd emailed, whatever, I'm going to be able to respond to them down here however they communicated with me, because your people have a preference of communication, right? This is also going to trigger, areas where you might want to work a lead. Now, Joe, right here, this last communication was a Facebook Messenger. So my option here to reply is going to default to Facebook message. And so now I can respond to Joe through Facebook Messenger, right? Which is awesome. Is awesome. You're communicating with people the way that they want to be communicated with. And you're just, so again, my goal is to just clear the inbox. Okay. So thing number 1 is dashboard, tasks, right? Thing number 2 is clear my inbox, my conversations. This is how I work leads, right? Now, thing number 3 is once I've responded to everybody who needs a response, thing number 3, now I'm over here in the pipeline, right? I'm up in the pipeline, and I'm working with my, I can move through my different pipelines that I'm generating, right? So if I don't have any leads in a specific pipeline, first of all, I would know from my dashboard. I could look down here and be like, oh, I got 0 on my express offers or whatever it is, right? But so I would go into here and work my, and work from my pipeline. And the way that I work my pipeline is, oh, no wonder I've got a little thing here. So just so you know, guys, if you're searching for somebody in your pipeline, so say I was searching for John, right? And like, oh, there's John, right? You can use this search feature, but if you don't delete this out of here, like if you forget, it won't reset. So the next time you log in, it'll still be in there. I freaked out before because one time I was like, oh my gosh, like there's a bug in the system. All of the, everybody in the pipeline's deleted. I was freaking out. And then I realized that there was something in here. So I just deleted that. And then boom, my pipeline was back, right? But I'm trying to work. So, I'm working the bucket from, if you look at any pipeline, let's just look at a seller pipeline, right? So if we look at the pipeline, the goal is like to move somebody from, from a new lead all the way through to the end, right? To a pending transaction, right? Does that make sense, everybody? First of all, let me just kind of get track of everybody. Is everybody tracking with me so far as far as how we work leads and how we follow up in the system? Step 1, dashboard, tasks, boom. Step 2, conversations, clear the inbox. Step 3, opportunity pipeline, let's go, right? Now, I'm going to work this. I'm going to work backwards in the opportunity pipeline because I'm trying to work closest to the dollar. So I'm going to look here and I'm going to say, okay, is there anything I need to do with my actives, right? No, not really. All right. Is there anything I need to do with my coming soons? Well, no, not really. Is there anything I need to do with this appointment that I met, right? What stage of them? Usually after we meet with an appointment, we're going to disposition them. We either won this one and moved them into coming soon, or, we lost them or whatever it is, right? Or maybe we move them back down. They're not really ready to list yet. Whatever the case is, we're going to go ahead and move them back down into our working hot bucket, right? But I'm working this stuff. I'm trying to move the needle. Hold on for 1 second. So then I'm going to move over to, my appointment set, make sure that, all the stuff is done. And then, but really usually the 2 main buckets that we're working from is like your working hots, just touching those. You should probably be touching your working hots at least, every couple of days or maybe every week, right? These are hot. We're trying to make sure that we're working these people. Long-term nurtures I'm not messing with, but contacted, I'm trying to move them. The contacted bucket is a very hot bucket too, because, usually this is a scan. Like there's not a lot to do here. This is where probably the primary bucket, because these are people who responded to a campaign. So the system automatically moved them over here. Now, I may have, based on my conversations, right? Like they may have responded to me here. So I might have already responded to them. And so now that I see them and contacted, and I'm like, okay, Randy. Yeah. So I just sent Randy, this thing, or, I'm going to move him. Randy needs to move over into working hot, right? Or this person, maybe I reached out, but we haven't gotten anything. He's going to stay in the contacted bucket, right? I'm going to keep working this bucket until I can move somebody out of the bucket. So I'm just trying to move people from stage to stage in the pipeline, working backwards. And pipelines are fluid, guys. That's the one thing I want you to understand is the framework for thinking through all of this stuff. I always start here. I start with thinking about a process, the pipeline. Okay, like what are all the steps that somebody would have to take to become a client? And then as you start working it, you realize like, you know what? We're trying to get people to schedule. We're trying to get people to schedule an appointment here. A lot of people are missing that. You know, we need a bucket for people who have missed calls, who don't show up for the call, right? We need a little bucket here, and we need a campaign because like what happens is first of all, I figure out how to work each one of these. And then every time I start to do something in here, if there becomes a process or something that I do more than once, or something that I start to identify as like, man, I need a little system around this, you know, like every time. So for example, every time we set an appointment, like what is the campaign? Like, I'm sending everybody, this, a video before I show up. I want to make sure that they watch that video. I want to make sure that this pre-listing indoctrination materials go out. And you know what? I also want to add them to a custom audience inside of Facebook because I want them to just start seeing my videos and seeing I could say I've got a pre-listing campaign and it's just got a bunch of videos and testimonials and stuff, and I can fire that off. I want those three things to happen. All right. Well, first of all, I'm going to go create a campaign to send those things out instead of me manually doing it. Right. I like to do it manually first, and then I create a campaign, and now it's a system. Now, as soon as I drag somebody here, they automatically, the campaign fires off. Right. So the first thing I would do in appointment set is I would go down here to marketing, like again, working down the bucket, and I go into campaigns, and I'm going to create a campaign, and I'm going to say, new, or let's say here, new listing appointment, or listing appointment scheduled, or whatever it is. Let's call it the name, listing appointment scheduled, right? And now I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to put this, I'll just put this in my sellers folder. Okay. So now with my listing appointments scheduled folder, I'm going to go down to campaign configuration. I'm going to say, this one's for me or for Michael, right? And I want this campaign, I'm going to put a little, make sure that this, stays between 8 and 8. And let's say that I want to send them an email with, before our appointment. And then, watch this. Okay, and maybe I, send them a video, right, and then send them a, a text message or something to follow up. Sent you a video to watch before our appointment. Boom, link, right? So now I've got a little campaign that's firing off, okay? And then I would just publish that and turn it live, okay? And then from there, now that I've got a campaign in place to take care of everybody who I've scheduled an appointment for, I'm going to go ahead and go down and create a trigger. And we're going to call this new listing appointment scheduled. I don't know why I keep putting new, but listing appointment scheduled, right? And let's just put this in our seller. We'll just put this in our seller home value for now. I'll just put it in there. And let's say that, so now I'm going to create a trigger, and I'm going to say every time let's see here, that my opportunity status has changed and my home value funnel pipeline, where is it? or my seller pipeline, right? And they moved to, not move status, pipeline stage. So every time we schedule an appointment, where is it? Oh, appointment set, right? So every time we set an appointment, here's what I want to happen. I want Attract ROI to add them to my appointment. I probably won't show up here because it's because I didn't save it, or I didn't make it go live. But you guys get the picture, right? I want to add them to the campaign, you know. Appointment. Yeah. Seller, boom, boom, boom. Anyways, you get the point, right? Also, too, and what else did I say that I wanted to do, right? I wanted to add them to a campaign and send them those videos, right? Oh yeah, I said that I wanted to also add them to a custom audience and just start showing up in their feed so they start seeing me everywhere. Well, I'm going to tell Facebook to go add them to a custom audience, and I'm going to add them to, I'm going to select my ad account that's connected to here, and I'm going to send them, I'm going to create a custom audience, and I'm just going to call it listing appointment set, right? And let's just pretend that, you know, this is my, you know, listing appointment set audience, right? So now I have two things going. I have a campaign firing, you know, showing up before I show up to a listing appointment. Plus, I'm crushing the fact that I'm got an invisible funnel flowing on top of that, and I'm just showing up in their news feed with some good videos and some testimonials. Right? I just created a little micro system around that one stage. And the more you start to train your mind about like these, about, okay, this is my pipeline. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to move somebody from here to here. Okay. And working the buckets manually, working them manually inside of here. And they're like, man, I keep sending this thing out. Right. Well, usually like what happens for us is like, we'll be up in here inside of conversations, and I'll be responding to somebody. Like, let's say I'm responding with a text message. First of all, like start creating templates. So I'll like create a template. You can create a little template for, you know, for different common responses to text messages and stuff. Right. And then it's like, you know, I'll start thinking like, you know what? we need a campaign here. I need a campaign to fire here. Right. I'm sorry, man. I get carried away. I mean, this is so dang exciting. It's ridiculous.